Long ago in ancient Phrygia, the land of roses, there lived a king of great power and wealth, named Midas. In modern retellings, he's described as greedy and obsessed with gold, and as having a daughter, the one thing he may have loved more than gold. But to be sure, he was obsessed with gold. He would stare at the sunset and wish the clouds were really made of gold, so that he could keep them. One night, the old satyr Silenus, companion of Dionysus, drunkenly wandered off from the gods' wild procession and stumbled into Midas's rose garden. He was found sleeping amongst the roses, murmuring to himself. He was brought to Midas as sort of a joke, but Midas was captivated by Silenus, who told stories of a far-off continent with golden cities, magical trees, and giants. For 10 days and 10 nights, they feasted and drank together. Then finally, Midas took Silenus to return him to Dionysus. Dionysus was so grateful that Silenus was returned safely that he offered the king one wish, any reward that he desired. Without hesitation, Midas said, "Let all that I touch turn to gold." Dionysus saw the folly of this wish, but granted it anyway. The effects were immediate. Midas picked up a twig, and before his eyes it changed into solid gold. He stuck his hands in the dirt, and where his fingers touched appeared gold nuggets. He plucked an apple from the orchard. He ran his hands through water, all turning into gold. Midas was very pleased with his new ability. He returned to his garden and began making some changes. He was enjoying his new gift thoroughly. But then came time to eat. When Midas sat down, delight turned to horror. His food turned to solid gold. The meat on the end of his fork turned to gold, and the wine from his jug turned to gold. Midas lamented his new reality, and in the modern retelling, he accidentally turned his daughter into solid gold. Midas wandered off, hungry, starving, desperate, and finally begged Dionysus to relieve him of this curse. Dionysus told him to wash himself in the river Pactolus. Midas did so, and the golden curse flowed from his body into the stream. To this day, the sands of Pactolus sparkle with gold. Sometime later, Midas attended a contest between Apollo, the sun god, and Pan, the satyr. Apollo played his lyre, and Pan played his reed pipes. Tmolus, the mountain god, declared Apollo the winner, but Midas dared to disagree and said that Pan should have won. Apollo, offended, declared, "Then you shall have the ears of one fit to judge like a donkey." And instantly donkey ears sprung out of the king's head. Midas was embarrassed and tried to hide the ears, but the palace barber saw the donkey ears. Burdened with this knowledge, the barber dug a hole and whispered his secret into it. Reeds grew from this spot, and it said that when the wind blows, they whisper, "King Midas has donkey ears." When Midas learned his secret was out, he condemned the barber to death. He then drank bull's blood and perished miserably.